The National Weather Service has put eastern Oregon under a red flag warning today and attached a label it almost never uses. The label is particularly dangerous situation. Forecasters use it when they expect any fire that starts to spread faster than crews can reach it. Whole seasons go by without it appearing once. The warning runs from 11 this morning until 11 tonight. It covers the foothills of the Blue Mountains and the eastern Columbia River Gorge. It also covers the lower Columbia Basin, north central Oregon, and the Yakima Valley in Washington. Winds will blow from the west at 15 to 25 miles an hour. Gusts will reach 35 and higher on open ridges. Humidity will fall to about 13%. Oregon has 30 large fires burning without full containment. Washington has 11 more. Normally, a red flag warning is about the risk of a new fire starting. Today, it is also about what 41 existing fires do when the wind arrives. Oregon has burned close to 1.8 million acres this season. The state record is 1.9 million, set in 2024. It is the first day of August. Recreational fires and target shooting are banned across the warning area for the full 12 hours. Propane and pellet grills are still allowed, with care. The Bureau of Land Management has fire restrictions on every acre of public land it manages in both states. West of the Cascades, none of this is visible. Portland has clouds, temperatures in the mid-70s, and a chance of light rain. The two halves of the state are having completely different days. This is Disaster Watch USA. The fire numbers here come from the incident teams working each fire, updated this afternoon. The weather comes from the National Weather Service offices in Pendleton, Bend, and Boise. Here are the main fires to watch today and the towns still under orders to leave. The Coleman Creek Fire in Harney County is the one to watch today. It has burned 212,000 acres. Its containment is 0%. That makes it the largest fire in the country with no containment at all. It has grown almost 8,000 acres since the last national report. The fire started on the 25th of July. 3 days earlier, a lightning storm had crossed Harney County and put thousands of strikes into the ground. It began southwest of the Warm Springs Reservoir and crossed the Malheur River. It pushed north and east until it reached Highway 20 and the community of Juntura. Juntura is small. A few dozen residents, a school, a cafe, and a gas stop. It is under a level 3 order, which means leave now. Highway 20 is the main road across that part of the state. It was closed between Burns and Vail and reopened on Wednesday with a warning to drivers about damaged signs and roadside equipment. Fire managers describe the behavior as extreme. The fire is moving with the wind and throwing embers out ahead of itself, and new fire starts wherever those embers land. Coleman Creek has 164 people assigned to it, 5 crews, 13 engines, and 2 helicopters. The Roe Creek Complex up in Wheeler County has more than 2,400. Both fires are enormous. Only one of them got the resources. That is what a national preparedness level of 5 means in practice. The country is at the top of its scale, every team is already committed, and a fire that grows late gets whatever is left. The team running Coleman Creek is a California incident management team. The same team is running the Second Flat Fire to the west, which has passed 100,000 acres of its own. 2 shelters are open for people who left. Burns High School is running around the clock and takes pets. The dormitories at Crane High School are open as well, with limited room for livestock. Every major fire in the region grew since the last national report. The Grasshopper Fire is east of Mount Hood, near Pine Hollow. It has passed 26,000 acres, up almost 5,000, and its containment is still 0. It now burns in 2 counties, Hood River and Wasco. The Hagen Fire is 26 miles east of Pendleton at 37,000 acres and 8% contained. Homes and power lines are threatened. The Bench Fire is south of Warm Springs at nearly 67,000 acres. Containment there jumped from 32% to 46%. The Confederated Tribes of Warm Springs have declared a state of emergency. The Shingle Fire southeast of Mitchell added nearly 2,000 acres and has not moved off 10% contained. Then there is the Fox Fire northeast of Huntington in Baker County. It is at nearly 77,000 acres, and its containment has gone the wrong way. It was 58%. It is now 46%. Containment falling means crews either lost line they had already built, or a new survey showed the perimeter is bigger than they thought. Either way, it is the only fire in Oregon moving backwards today. Washington is under the same wind, and Washington has the 2 biggest jumps in the region. The Modrite fire in Ferry County has nearly doubled. It was 21,000 acres. It is now over 40,000, and containment dropped from 27% to 22%. The Sinlahekin fire in Okanogan County has more than doubled, from 11,000 acres to nearly 27,000, with no containment at all. Keyser Canyon remains the largest fire in Washington at 134,000 acres and 30% contained. It has destroyed 44 buildings, more than any single fire in Oregon, and it now burns across 2 counties. Keyser Canyon carries the highest priority ranking the system has, so it gets resources ahead of almost everything else in the country. A second management team from Alaska is on its way. Between the 2 states, 41 large fires are burning without full containment this afternoon. 4 of them have no containment at all. The largest fire in Oregon is the Roe Creek Complex, 10 miles south of Fossil. It now covers 313,000 acres across 4 counties: Crook, Wheeler, Jefferson, and Wasco. And it is the best news of the day. Containment rose from 46% to 57%. On a fire this size, 11 points is a serious gain. It took more than 2,400 people, 65 crews, and almost 200 engines to earn it. Every fire in the complex traces back to one lightning storm that crossed the Twickenham area on the 15th and 16th of July. 25 buildings have been destroyed. Spending is over $20 million. The largest single fire inside the complex is Crosswhite. Its east zone alone has more than 315 miles of fire edge to hold. The John Day Fossil Beds National Monument is closed because of this fire. So is all federal land along both banks of the John Day River, from Service Creek north to the Columbia. One lane of Highway 26 has been reopening during daylight behind a pilot car and closing again at night. The second giant is the Big Grass Fire, 25 miles southwest of Jordan Valley. It has passed 307,000 acres and holds at 21% contained. It burns in 2 counties in 2 different states: Malheur County in Oregon and Owyhee County in Idaho. 356 homes are threatened, and none of them have burned. Pleasant Valley, South Mountain, and Jordan Valley stay under Level 3 orders. Much of that is because of road closures rather than flame reaching the houses. 3 incident management teams are working the Roe Creek complex. A Northwest team and an Oregon Department of Forestry team are running it, and a Southwest team came in to help. 2 fires, 620,000 acres between them, both started by lightning 16 days apart. Almost none of these fires were started by people. Lightning started them in dry thunderstorms that crossed eastern Oregon through the middle and end of July. A dry thunderstorm delivers the strike without the rain. On ground that has had no real moisture in months, that is the worst weather available. The storm that started Coleman Creek put thousands of strikes into a single county in one night. The fuel is mostly grass, brush, and juniper. Timber burns hot and slow, dried summer grass burns fast, and a grass fire pushed by wind crosses open country faster than a person can run. Eastern Oregon is mostly open country. The grass was ready early because of what happened in April. 8 western states recorded their lowest snowpack ever measured on the 1st of April. In Washington, the snow was gone by the 26th of June, about 3 weeks ahead of normal. Fuels that normally dry out in August were dry in July. That is why a fire like Sinlahekin can double in size in a day this early in the season. Not every jump in acreage means a fire exploded overnight. When an aircraft with infrared cameras finally maps a full perimeter, the official acreage can rise sharply even though the fire barely moved. It works in both directions. The Coyote Fire near Post lost 7 acres that way, and the Ptarmigan Fire in Washington dropped 6,000. Containment is also not the same as extinguished. A fire at 90% still has 1/10 of its edge open. On a fire the size of Roe Creek, that is many miles of unfinished line. Crews spend days working the edge, digging out hot spots so an ember cannot cross. That is why containment percentages climb slowly while acreage climbs fast. A number like 57% on Roe Creek represents weeks of work. Most of eastern Oregon is also in the extreme drought category. The grass and brush hold almost no moisture at any hour. In a normal season, fires quiet down after dark as humidity recovers. This season, they have kept moving through the night. Behind every number here is somebody loading a car. Across Oregon and Washington, the season has now passed 2 million acres. For both states together, this is the worst fire year since at least the year 2000. Oregon has used its Emergency Conflagration Act 10 times this season. That act lets the state fire marshal send city firefighters out to the fire line to defend houses. 10 times in one summer is not a normal year. Near Burns, members of the Burns Paiute tribe evacuated as the second flat fire moved through Harney County. In Baker County, the city of Huntington went to level 3 as the Fox Fire advanced right up to the edge of town. This week, the state ordered insurance companies to stop canceling policies for people in evacuation zones. Insurers must also allow grace periods on premiums and extend deadlines for filing claims. Oregon opened a consumer line for anyone struggling with a claim, and the number is in the description below. That order exists because of what usually follows a fire season. Policies get dropped, premiums jump, and claim windows close while families are still living in a motel. Oregon moved before that began instead of after. Not every evacuation is people. Remember the shelter at Crane High School with room for livestock. That is not a small detail in this part of Oregon. When the range burns, the animals have nowhere to go. Outside Prineville, Mary Bayer and her husband Roy run Wind Down Ranch. When the Roe Creek complex reached grazing land in the Ochoco National Forest, ranchers along McKay Creek Road had to move their herds fast. The buyers opened their pasture and took in 300 pair of cattle. In ranching, a pair means a cow and her calf, so that is closer to 600 animals on somebody else's land. Nobody ordered them to do it. There is no line for it in any incident budget. Moving cattle off open range during a fire is harder than it sounds. The animals are scattered, smoke disorients them, and the roads out are often the same roads crews need. Ranchers do it on horseback with neighbors over several days. The cattle are still there. The forest grazing land is closed, so nobody can say yet when they go home. If you do not want to miss these, subscribe. Evacuation levels in Oregon are set by county sheriffs, not by the fire teams, and they can change within the hour. Gilliam, Wasco, Wheeler, and Sherman counties share one map. Given today's forecast, check it before you go out rather than after. The smoke has spread well past the fire lines. Oregon's Environmental Quality Department has an air quality advisory out for 12 counties. It covers Baker, Crook, Grant, Harney, Jefferson, Union, Wallowa, and Wheeler, along with parts of Clackamas, Malheur, Umatilla, and Wasco. It runs until at least Monday afternoon. The Fox Fire is the largest single source of that smoke. It is drifting east and reaching towns from Weiser to Boise. Smoke often settles into the valleys after dark, so the worst air is frequently at night, while people sleep with the windows open. A dry cold front is crossing the region today. The temperature drops and the wind arrives, but no rain comes with it. Crews get everything that breaks a fire line and nothing that helps put fire out. The strongest wording today covers the foothills of the Blue Mountains in both states. It also covers the lower Columbia Basin, north central Oregon, the Yakima Valley, and the Simcoe Highlands. The national forecast expects gusts of 35 to 50 miles an hour across the inland northwest and above 50 on high terrain. In central Oregon, the local forecast is 15 to 25 with gusts near 35. Humidity falls to about 13% under the red flag warning and near 20% where a fire weather watch still applies. Temperatures across the northwest run 5 to 15 degrees above normal. The wind does not stop at the Oregon line. Tonight and tomorrow, it pushes into the northern Rockies and the northern Great Basin, where Montana and Idaho have their own uncontained fires waiting. West of the Cascades, Portland is getting light rain today, which is unusual for early August. The same low-pressure system driving that rain is what drives the wind east of the mountains. The rain in Portland does nothing for the fires 4 hours away. The Weather Service has also issued a wind advisory. Gusts may make driving difficult for high-sided vehicles, bring down branches, and knock out power in places. The national picture has not eased. The preparedness level is 5, the highest there is. 87 large fires are burning uncontained across the country. 28 incident management teams are committed, and more than 26,000 people are assigned. Nearly 18,000 of them are in the Pacific Northwest. Crews have come from 34 states and from Australia and New Zealand. Military transport aircraft fitted with tanker systems are flying out of Klamath Falls and Redding, California. So far this year, the country has recorded 44,000 fires and 4.8 million acres burned. Both numbers are running about a third above the 10-year average. A large share of those 18,000 people slept last night in a field camp. Tents, a mobile kitchen, generators, and a briefing at 6 in the morning before another 12-hour shift. They will be working in this wind all afternoon. Watch 3 things over the next day. The first is whether Coleman Creek is still at 0 containment tomorrow morning. The second is whether Modrite and Sinlahekin keep doubling. The third is whether any new fire starts inside the warning area because crews have nothing spare to send. Fire managers have said all week that they are watching for new starts more than for the fires they already have. That is why the ban on campfires and shooting runs the full 12 hours today. Equipment has started fires all season. A trailer chain scraping the road throws sparks into the grass beside it. A hot exhaust parked over dry grass can set that grass alight from underneath. Thank you to the crews, the dispatchers, and the neighbors who showed up this week. New numbers come out every morning. We will be back tomorrow to go through them. Take care of each other.